I am a mama's boy. Now, I don't know if anybody ever chooses to be a mama's boy. 3 months before I was born, my father died. So I would have much rather have been daddy's little man. But that was taken away. And my mom was all I had. So my mom really just took care of me. And I became mama's little boy. When I was 7 years old, after my second sibling was born, one of my uncles came over to the house and he said, well, Ashanti, now you're the man of the house. So you're going to have to take care of your mom, your sister, and your little brother. Now, I didn't think that he was giving me a suggestion. It was kind of like he had bestowed upon me this new title of man of the house. And I didn't really want it. Have you ever been given a responsibility that somebody said, you have to do this, but you didn't necessarily feel that you wanted it or that you were ready for it? Like normally when my uncle gave me advice, he would give me some steps. Okay, first you do this, and then you do this. But this advice, he just dropped on my lap. And then he left. And so I began to figure out, okay, I got to be a man. It sounds better than being a little boy. But there were some conflicts involved. And many times in my life, mama's little boy and man of the house had a battle. And there was no battle bigger than when I was 17 years old. I was on my way to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I was a senior in high school, just got home from wrestling practice, very hungry. And I go into the kitchen to look for some food, and I hear my mom and her husband arguing. Now, they always argued, so I didn't pay much attention to it. But I heard my mom say something that was pretty devastating. She said, I wish you would. Now, that statement, usually I had tested her out, and I wish you would. But for my mom, I wish you would actually didn't mean I wish you would. See, so what she actually meant was, you better not. So what happened in that moment, let me finish the sentence. She said, I wish you would put your hands on me. And so I just jumped into action. I ran around the corner to where the room was. And at that time when I turned the corner, I saw my mom hit the floor. And all I knew was that I had to act. So I ran in. I was going to attack this man. But he was bigger than me. He was stronger than me. And I was being choked. And he was asking me, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And I really couldn't do anything because I could barely breathe. But when he let me go, I ran out of the house. I drove around the corner. And I got a gun. I drove back to my house, and in the time between me opening the door of the car and grabbing the paper bag, I saw the porch of my house. And the porch looked like the front page of the Oakland Tribune. I saw my mom standing on the porch crying. I saw myself being marched down the stairs in handcuffs. And the headline was something like, college-bound senior, college-bound athlete, life over. And in that moment, I cried. Like in that moment, I was really clear that I was supposed to act. But I wasn't really angry. Like deep down, I was feeling sad. I was feeling afraid. And I was feeling helpless. Like I was sad that I wasn't strong enough to go in and with my own bare hands support and save my mom. I was afraid that there was like an enemy in my house. And I felt helpless, like I didn't even know where to go next. As I sat in the car trying to figure out who should be in charge right now, the tears flowed down my face. And I realized that this belief of who I was supposed to be as man of the house, who had clear definitions of what rules that I was to play by, was about to destroy my life. So I fast forward. I graduate high school. I go to college, civil engineering. I get a job. I make a lot of money. I start realizing that engineering is not what I want to be doing. I want to teach. I become a teacher. And the first year teaching, I'm failing. I'm failing because I'm trying to figure out why is it these young men in my class are not doing the work. It wasn't that they were having a hard time with the mathematics. It was that they were not even trying. And so I invited some young men to lunch. I said, you know what? I'll invite you to lunch once a week. I'll pay for lunch. Exchange for lunch, teach me how to be a better teacher. Like, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'll fix it. And when I realized from these young men that at this school is not cool. Like, you're not cool being smart. So they acted in ways that they felt they needed to act to feel cool. And what I learned from them in that moment was that they were wearing a mask too. Their mask of cool said, you can't be too smart because these people at this school don't like smart people. The mask they were wearing was so deeply connected to their face that sometimes they didn't even know it themselves. And so what we began to do is give them tools to break past it. Now, what we realized is that helping the young men break past their mask was only half the problem, because we had to work on their parents, their teachers, the administrators, other people in the community. And so through our workshop, Taking Off the Mask, we began to give not only our young men space to have healthy conversations around what was going on in their life, healthy tools to deal with the life's problems when they come up, so that they can see a little farther. And through the Taking Off the Mask workshop, we have helped 6,000 people to have a space to take off the mask. Now, I'm only going to talk about a little bit of data. When we talk to adults in these workshops, we find that of adults who say on the outside of the world, outside of the mask, I show the world that I'm happy, 7 out of 10 of them say that actually, I can't tell anybody that I'm sad, I'm afraid, and I'm stressed. And these are adults. These are adults who have plenty of time in their life to practice how to deal with their own problems. They themselves are already clear that there are ways and that they can't show, and there's things that they can't talk about. Now, for the high school students. For students in high school who say, you know what, I show the world that I'm happy. That's what I'm showing the world. 9 out of 10 of them say that actually I'm sad, afraid, and stressed. Imagine that. Imagine that we have a clear definition of what the world wants to see from us. Men, women, boys, and girls are really clear that the world wants to see certain things from me. And there are certain things the world doesn't want to see, so I hide them. I ignore them. And what we found is that when we give young people, older people, a space to deal with the real stuff, it allows your heart to come open. And when your heart can come open, you can find what you're passionate about. And when you find what you're passionate about, that is the way to live a truly purpose-driven life. Now, imagine a community where young people can come together, have healthy conversations about the things that they're dealing with in their life without being judged, without trying to be fixed. Imagine young people having a space where they didn't have to resort to drugs and alcohol and violence and self-destructive behaviors like suicide to deal with the pain and the problems that come up in their life. What if young people had a place to go to do with that? What if you, adults, had a safe place to go to take off your mask and get real? To talk about what's really going on when no one is watching? What if you had a safe place to do that? What if that was possible? Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah, we think so too. Thank you very much.